Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3. I am Bambu. And this on this episode, I'm just gonna do it solo, and instead of using my GoPro that I purchased and you know doing this extravagant thing, I just decided just to do it on my laptop, just because it's just easier and it's more efficient. Because I mean, I don't understand, really, I'm trying to learn how to use all the camera and the sound and do all this stuff. But, in trying to do all that, I get sidetracked and, put too much pressure on what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to create. So, this one I decided to do it on just the basic of the basic. And so, like I said in my previous episode, I'm learning as I go along. And, on this one, I feel like I've been having, a lot of hard, tough days, and I wanted to kind of throw some ideas out there, and I mean, as far as like how for me, what it is for me to be, happy. So, I mean, I think that I don't think this is gonna be a long one, but this is just like my perspective on things. So, the word happy, to define it, it's feeling and showing pleasure and contentment. But what is it really to be happy? What are things that will bring happiness to my life? And this is the other things that I think about a lot. Like, what are more, what's more important for me? Is it, making a certain amount of money? Is it having things like a nice car, fancy clothes? You know what I mean? I mean the normal stuff. Is it having an Xbox? Is it working out? Is it eating good food? Is it what is it? What when am I the happiest? And when am I like the most depressed and sad and angry? Growing up, growing up as a young person living in Los Angeles, I always thought that, before my 20s, I was like, okay, maybe if I work really hard, make money, you know what I mean? It wasn't like good money, but it was money that I can do whatever I wanted. And growing up, what the hell did I do with it? Nothing. I fucking partied and drank and did all sorts of stupid shit. And then now in my 30s, I'm like, okay, well, I regret that. So now I have these ideas in my head of the person that I used to be, and it causes me stress. It's like, for what? Like, I think about these things that of the person that I used to be, and it makes me angry. It makes me feel like not good enough. Like I should have done something more. And I'm sure these are ideas that everybody goes through, and it's just like it's just I mean, no, the reason why I'm doing this podcast is to essentially make me happy. And I figured that maybe through talking, um, and through having conversations with people, just maybe I'll learn something, and maybe you know I'll I'll change my future or something. I don't know, but I'm literally going through it, as a person that's 32 years old, and literally the things that I've learned, uh, even though I made it this far, I feel like I can do better. And this is what the podcast is essentially for. I always had an idea of doing one, and I did the first one and the second one, which was really fun. It was great. But the problem was is that I keep getting nervous, thinking that it's not good enough. It's not, that part of it is not fun. And so this one, I was just like, you know what? Let me just rant about some stuff and get comfortable with doing this, and fuck it. So at this point, I'm just gonna talk about things that make me feel the happiest. Because I noticed that it isn't a thing just to be happy. Being happy takes a lot of work, and more often than not, I'm not I wouldn't say I'm happy 100% of the time. I say there's spurts of happiness that happen throughout the day, you know, and I notice that it's not through extravagant things or you know or I mean there I mean I guess there's just different levels of happiness, but I get a lot of joy in doing the little things like you know going to the park, going hiking, which I haven't done, going to the beach, which I've done like maybe I don't know once this year. Um I uh, you know doing my martial arts, doing just doing stuff, doing like a couple minutes of stuff that I actually like to do, and I don't know, it's just hard to imagine not having these things, but yeah, I don't do them. Like eating good, like I don't eat good, like I eat shit, and then I wonder why I feel like shit because I eat like shit, you know. Uh, I eat burgers, pizzas, quesadillas, and all this crazy shit, and then I complain about feeling like shit. Okay, cool. You know, I work. I work at a place where you know it causes me stress, like all day for 8 hours stress. I drive. You know, I'm in my car, uh, and then the end of my you know my work, you know during I'm like fuck I hate this shit. After I'm like fuck I hate this shit. And then when I'm off work, I'm thinking about how much I hate this shit. You know, so it's like is happiness like am I not doing this correctly right now? You know, and I'm trying to change the way I think about things. I'm trying to realize that it's not. I'm starting to realize that it's not anybody else's fault for me not being happy, except for me. It's my fault. I'm literally doing all the work to not make myself happy, but yeah, I want to be happy. So is me wanting to be happy, creating that wanting, you know, like is that what I'm doing, or is it more like should I should I work out like and then that'll be one piece like you know what I mean? I think there's a pie that's called happiness, and I'm only taking like little bites here and there of it, where I should be doing more work to to just eat the whole pie, you know. And so this is just a chance for me to just like kind of express myself and my ideas, and I mean it may probably not a smart thing to do it online where people can judge me, but you know I'm tired of always thinking like oh what are people gonna think of me. Like it's fucking annoying. Like it's stupid as fuck. I constantly always like, oh man, I should, you know. I feel like I'm a nice guy, and but sometimes I feel like I go like up and beyond to be this nice guy, to live to this persona, like, and that was my problem early on in my youth. Is that in my youth, like as if I'm fucking old now, not that fucking old. I'm 32, but you know, in my younger days, it was through I I how do I say this? I created a persona through all the partying and the drinking and stuff like that. But it wasn't really who I am or who I was at that time. You know, I thought, man, if I just be this party guy and do the most and just be super happy and be drunk and just have a good time and help make everybody have a good time, then people would like me. But I have to drink. You know, I have to. You know, if I'm not drinking, will people still want to, you know, be my friend? And it was a sad. I mean, it was fun. There were moments that were like really fun, but then there were moments that just got out of hand. And I was like, well, does this make me happy? No, it wasn't making me happy. And then like when I chose not to drink anymore, people got used to that guy that drank all the fucking time and expected me to be that. But I didn't want to be that anymore. So slowly people stopped hanging out with me because I didn't want to be that guy. You know, so it's kind of like I'm just trying to figure out like what where is my place in this world? Like what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be doing something? You know? And then like what what I mean as far as like I mean and like I said this is just like the early road for me still, you know. I'm still learning this thing and I want to be better. I want to be a better person. I want to be treated with respect and I want to treat people with respect, you know. And then the other way around. And you know, it's just like eh, I mean, obviously you can't be a dick, but you just have to, you know, be yourself. And as of as of late, I've noticed that I have not been myself. I've noticed that I just been just trying to cater to everybody's feelings, and you know, which is good. That's what a friend is all about. But at the same time, you know, I at the same time I have to, you know, think of myself. You know, I have to think of myself because in the end of the day, I'm the one that's going to bring the happiness to me. You know, and the only way that other people are going to be happy around me is only if I'm happy. So if I'm happy, then my whole community around me is going to be happy. So that's the key. You know, I think because if for a long time I was making other people happy, but in the inside of me, I was fucking miserable. So it's there's a lot of things that I and these are things that I think about all the time. Like you know, when I have like a lot of like I keep saying like, and I have a lot of time by myself. So this, you know that's why I decided to maybe slow it down a little bit and just you know have a to whoever wants to listen. You don't have to listen. You can always go somewhere else. It doesn't matter. I'm not doing this for anybody else but me. So this is my idea. This is what I do because the person that I am now and the stress that I take on, I have to figure out ways to get me out of the stress. Even if it's like for like 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever, however time it may be. This is how I do it. Um, First and foremost, I you know I'm the biggest hypocrite you'll ever meet. I I I read books on mental health. I you know try to learn as much as I can, and I try to you know right now I'm reading this book about health, eating healthy, and the pros and cons. And I mean, it's a great book. It's awesome, and I haven't changed my diet at all. But I have tried like a ketogenic diet where you take out all the carbs, all the you know oats, breads, no sugar, and even though I was miserable for like 2 weeks, super miserable, afterwards, like my energy levels went up. I felt, you know, I felt good. I felt, you know, a little, you know, uplifted a little bit, and then I fucking stopped. And you know, and now I'm constantly like, oh well, you know what? Like I'm just gonna eat this burger. I'm just gonna eat this pizza. And so now, you know, I told myself I was gonna eat healthy, and then tried it, failed, and then I start, you know, feeling like shit because I failed. So it's like it's an endless cycle of like constant stuff. I feel, you know, but I figured just if I just as long as I'm trying, you know, the act of trying helps. And I know that I'm, you know, the first time I stopped drinking for 6 months. I mean, I did it and it was awesome. I'm so happy. I went through, you know, it was so hard. And then, but it was like a New Year's resolution that I was trying for like, I don't know, like 5 years. But the first year I tried it, I failed hours later. Literally drank like, I was like, it was midnight and I was like, all right, that's it, I quit. And then my friends kept on partying and then just, just, just failed. Just drank, fuck it. You know, second year I tried it and it was like, I did like maybe a couple of weeks, and then I quit. And then I was like, fuck it for another year. And then third year, fourth year, whatever, it was like longer and longer. So I mean, as long as every year I progressed, oh, I think there was a whole year where I didn't drink. Because growing up, drinking was like a big part of my life. Partying, acting crazy, doing crazy shit. It was a big part of my life because that's what I thought would bring me happiness, but it doesn't. And for me, it didn't. Anyway, it wasn't. It wasn't like it was a good time. There were some fucking great moments in there, but there was a lot of fucked up moments. Not happy, and a lot of things that I regret in my life. So, was it worth it? I don't think so. I mean, I'm happy with the person that I become now because I never want to be that person ever again. So I made the appropriate adjustments in my life to to forgive myself and to realize that I didn't have the um, normal. I mean, it's not even like it's not normal. I just didn't have the right role models, people like that are older that could have guided me through, being a freaking teenager, and then becoming an adult. Like I still don't know what an adult is. So, now at 32, what I've learned is that it's really important to forgive not only yourself but forgive everybody around. But what is super important though is you gotta I for me I had to realize, okay, so who's really my friend? Who who are my friends? Like, who are the people that are around me that are influencing me? Are they influencing me for the good, or are they influencing me for the bad? Are they hanging out with me because especially because when I used to drink, like the old saying, misery loves company. Were they hanging out with me because they were miserable and I was miserable, so we were good friends? And then now that I'm trying to pull out of that, and then they want to stay in the misery, and so now they don't want to hang out with me because we don't vibe on the same frequency. Like, then they don't need to be in your life, like, right? They don't. So there are a lot of things that, I mean, for that, yeah, a lot of people now didn't stay around, and it's been an interesting road to 32. It's been fun so far. I mean, I'm the happiest now that I've ever been ever. And, I'm so grateful for my friends, so grateful for my family, so grateful for uh, just the people that are around me now, because I made certain decisions, like, okay, maybe this person is not, you know it's not maybe like healthy. It's not healthy to be around this person or people, and food's a big one too. uh, once I started, like, okay, I want to start being healthier, even though I'm not. I tried reading this book and it still hasn't kicked in. Like, I want to do it. Like, I want to do it, but it's a sugar is a drug in itself. It's a huge drug, and I'm trying to kick it. But man, soda and sweets and candies and stuff like that, they're freaking good. But I know they're bad for me, and I know that it affects the way I feel. Because sometimes like, I try to be happy as often as I can, but when that perfect day happens, like where like, let's say my tires pop, and then after my tire pop, I go to work, I get bitched at as soon as I get into work, and then during work I get bitched at by random people, and then after work I get maybe me and my girlfriend will get into a fight, and then when I go to the gym, maybe the weights will fall on. You know what I mean? It's just it'll be it's a perfect recipe for like a rampage explosion of emotion. And so it's I'm training myself to kind of see through and just look for ideas to make myself a better person overall. The way I eat, my sleeping patterns, the people that I have around me, and the way that exercise is a huge one. I practice martial arts. I've been a mixed martial artist for about 10 years now, and I started with judo and did judo for quite a bit. Maybe like honestly, I did judo for a good 4 to 6 years, and then anything after that, I was just kind of like cruising through because I just didn't. Even though it was great, like, and I loved it, and I loved the foundation that it gave me, like the ability to to take punishment, the ability to dish out punishment, to be able to like big one. I know this is gonna sound ridiculous, but to fall, because a lot of people like don't know how to fall. Like I'll I'll trip somewhere and then I'll eat it, but because I taken a fall so many times, it's just like I know how to do that. I can do that, Uh, I can, I can, and this is probably not a good thing, but uh, I, I I did judo, and after a while of me doing judo, it's just like I reached. Not to say that I was like the shit, I wasn't, but for me, I just almost something inside me was yearning for something else, like a change. Like I got into a routine in judo and did the routine for however long many years that I did, and then it got to a point where I was just like, this isn't like the same as when I first started, and so I decided to kind of like it just happened, and it just happened. It just happened. I think at the time I was partying my like really bad, really into my alcoholism, and it was really hard to just stay into something where it wasn't helping me to kick these aspects of myself. I just you know I just didn't want to, like, even though it's great martial art, just it was really hard to stay in there because I think I felt like that was my place to escape instead of just like trying to learn a way to deal with all these things. uh, it was just like my way to escape. I don't know. And then after a while, I got into um, let's see, what did I get into after that? I guess after that, I took a few months off. I mean, it was deep into like a depression that I was kind of going through because I didn't, it's just a lot of things that were going on at the time, and things were really hard for me, and so I just kind of like gave up on the working out, and and somehow, some way, I ended up uh, meeting my current teacher, and I started practicing capoeira, and I noticed that in capoeira it was just like in the beginning it was great. It was something new, something challenging. It was like something to kind of keep my mind busy. I think that's the key thing too, because my mind from an early age was like programmed for negativity. I think that the way that I grew up, I was programmed to think that the only way that I was going to be happy was to achieve financial freedoms, to do whatever I can to get the most money, and when it wasn't happening, it was just like, you know, it's just constant, and not to say that money, I was money hungry or anything like that, but it was more like, okay, you know, I'm gonna just, work, 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 and I worked, and I had, I was making good money, and no, mm, so I started drinking, started going pretty bad on it, and started. Then I met my capoeira instructor, and he was like, come train capoeira, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get in there, and I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna keep my mind busy, and when I started doing it, um, not only did it challenge me physically, but it challenged me mentally. It was like, it wasn't like when I was doing judo where you have these set moves. and you didn't really have to think anymore at a certain point. I mean, you had to think setups and like, okay, how am I going to throw this person? Or if we were on the ground doing Iwaza, which is like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, it was like, okay, cool. How am I going to set up to get a choke or triangle or whatever technique I was going for? But other than that, my body kind of just knew what to do. And so when I started doing capoeira, it kind of gave me a different perspective and a different set of movements, and going and having done it for 4 years that I've done it already, it's still challenging as hell. It's still because there's so many different aspects of it that make me, you know, hungry to learn more and to make myself better. For me, I envision myself doing like practicing and teaching capoeira one day. I and had I never really had that in me to want to do that, and so now I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm doing now. This is who I am right now, and this is what makes me happy, and through and it's a weird thing because it literally saved my life. It literally saved my life, and the reason why I saved my life is because through capoeira, I had a chance to like kind of meet new people, and I then through meeting new people and having different levels of conversations, I get different perspectives in life. I get a different idea, um, and the idea is more or less do more of what you love. Do more of what you love. Do more of what you love. It's and that's kind of like where my head is right now. Do more of what you love right now, and my passions in life is music, food. I love to eat. I love music. I love singing. I love playing music. I love music. And I love martial arts. And capoeira kind of throws them all together. It literally saved my life. And I don't think I would be here if it wasn't for that. I don't because at the place where I was in my head, thinking that having different ideas. No. It's just I wouldn't be here. So I mean, this is an exciting time for me because, like I said, this is the happiest I've ever been ever for the longest streak of time. But being the happiest I've ever been ever also means, for some whatever reason, I get pissed off more often than not. Like, when I work, I work to finance. Like, I'm not one of those lucky people that work at a place where they love their jobs. Like, I hate working. I hate where I work. And it doesn't bring me happiness. But when I do capoeira, it kind of balances itself out. So I can go through the day of work because after work I know that I'm gonna do at least a little bit of something that I love. And I guess that's the message for today. It's just like, do more of what you love. Do more of what you love, because it's and I had this conversation with when I was doing the laundry. There was this gentleman who was in his 80s. He's 85 years old, and kind of like dropping some knowledge on me about just life and the things that he went through and the things that throughout the years that he had thought, like he had some ideas of what and what he who he was gonna be, and happiness and stuff like that. And he told me, he was like, you know what, there's right now there's certain things that you should only be worried about. It's like, it doesn't matter how you make your money as long as you're making money. Okay, so that was one. That's what he told me, and I thought about that, and I was like, Well, that makes sense. Because in the United States you need money to live, and you're more often than not you're not gonna like what you do, so you just got to deal with it. You know. The second thing was your health. Think about your health. Think about how you think about exercising more, and think about eating better, and think about mm, okay. So it was doing more exercises, eating healthy, and do something that is very therapeutic to you. Like for me, it would be capoeira, or an aspect of capoeira, whether it be playing music, singing songs, or you know, doing the actual movements. For him, it was gardening. He said he picked up gardening at 85. He was a U.S. veteran, divorced twice, had quite a few kids, and I noticed that he was in the laundromat by himself, and I mean, I kind of knew that there's certain, when you get like at a certain age, like, and it's really sad, in the United States that more often than not we kind of just like push away our elderlies. We're not, and I see it. I mean, I see it with my family. Like my grandma's by herself. You know, I'm and now I'm doing it towards my mom. She lives on her own, has her own apartment. You know, divorced, doesn't have really anybody. So and here, it's just things that I'm still like learning. And, you know, probably shouldn't be saying, but whatever. That's my life. So, um, but yeah, he told me, he was like, you know what, just you just gotta do what you love. You just gotta be happy. And I guess that's the message here today. Is just, this for me, I'm trying to figure out ways to make myself happier, and I'm trying to these days. I'm trying to do at least an hour a day of what I enjoy doing, like really enjoy doing. Uh, Try to eat the healthiest that I can. I still drink though. I kicked it, came back, kicked it, came back, and I was always like, okay, I'm gonna quit, and I'm gonna quit for however long, and and I'm gonna just not drink. And I noticed that when I relapsed, I get so disappointed because I relapsed. So I just put too much pressure. So I just try to do less of that. I don't just try to say like, oh, I'm gonna do this and that's it. Instead of stuff, because it's not. It's just not. I'm gonna just do it again. So I stopped doing. I stopped really like saying things that I'm really not gonna do. Because I noticed that the more I say things that I want to do but I don't do, I get disappointed. So I just stop saying shit. So I just do what I can, and yeah, and I mean that's what I got from that conversation was just no like like mm, it's not really how much material things that I gather that are gonna make me happy. I think that it's through hobbies, through good friendships, and good food, and just trying to create a good environment when I'm not obligated to do things. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still working these things out. When every time I have an epiphany, an idea, or like ever think like, oh, this is how it is. This is exactly how it goes down. Like I'll have the answer for everything. Something comes and just kicks me in the head and says, no, no, this isn't how it is. Actually, it's like this. So I think as I get older, it's just gonna evolve. My ideas are gonna evolve. I mean, they're only gonna get better because I I want to be better, and I think, and not only do I want to be better, but I'm taking. I think that I'm taking the proper steps to becoming better for myself. I don't give a shit about, and don't take it the wrong way, but I'm trying not to care so much of what people think of me. I'm trying to just be me, just be myself, and and accept the fact that just there's going to be people that are just not going to like me. and that's fine. It's what's gonna happen. I try to please every single person that comes into my life, but that's just not gonna happen. And slowly but surely, I'm starting to realize this. Slowly but surely, I'm starting to realize this. So, yeah, thank you for listening. Uh, you know, it only gets better. It's only gonna get better. Yeah. Even though there are days where I just want to quit. There are days where I just like, this is, it gets ridiculous as fuck. But as long as I'm trying and striving and taking the steps to know that I'm working towards something, then that's what keeps me going. You know, it's a it's a learning process, and you know, it would be easier if I would have had if I had all the answers in front of me, but I don't. I'm learning as I go along, just like everybody else. So yeah, these are just my ideas for today. Just wanted to throw it out there. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and see you on the next one. Next week, I'm trying to do one every week. I think one every week is fine because I try. I need to get used to like being in front of the camera and just just being myself. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Later.